Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with Khaled. You're here with me in the lovely, beautiful city of Doha in Qatar. And I'm specifically in a place called Lusail. I've taken you guys out to my pool area, which obviously has a beautiful view. These are hotels, surprisingly. But as I've moved here, everything here in Qatar seems to be a bit extreme, but in a beautiful sense. Just wanted to give you guys an update of how I'm finding it since I've moved over. Little tips and tricks, or just updates of things that I've been doing. And I generally feel like this place for me has brought a definite peace to my life. Home is where the heart is what people say. And if you know me, you know that I hate cliches, but at the same time, there's just this element of peace and freedom that you feel here. I don't know if it's the fact that it's an Islamic country. I don't know if that even makes a difference, because I've spoken to a lot of people that have moved here for work, which is predominantly most of the society here. And they all say the same thing. And it's just that opportunity to live their lives in any way that they can, with the freedoms, with the peace, with the safety that this country offers. And I've definitely felt that since I've been here. And it's just a beautiful piece. There's no other way of explaining it. And I feel like I'm going to be an advocate for Qatar in especially, but just the Middle East in general. I feel like there's this overwhelming concept of what it is like to be in the Middle East or in the Gulf. And then when people finally get here, they're like, whoa, we didn't really we didn't expect this, rather. And at the same time, luckily enough for me, I'd been here before and I'd had some experience, holidaying through Doha. And also I was here last year for the World Cup. So that was like a good experience for me to see the place, to see how it feels, to see whether it would suit my lifestyle. And luckily enough for me, I'm being blessed by God with the opportunity to have moved here and to live here. So let me take it back. a few a few decisions that I had to make prior to coming here were really tough. And like I said in my last podcast, decisions always come with a trade-off, right? So especially the tough decisions that you make in your life, they always come with trade-offs. And leaving my family, leaving my friends, leaving what is supposedly home for me. Sydney is the place that I grew up with, even though I haven't spent so much time there in the last 10 odd years. But generally speaking, leaving those things that are so close to me, that are so beloved to me, it comes with a trade-off, because I love to travel. I love to experience new things. I love to be out of my comfort zone, because as we all know, the comfort zone is, not a place of growth. You need to leave that place to grow. And having been here last year for the World Cup and experienced what I experienced, I always thought to myself, man, I would love to experience what it's like to live here in the Middle East, to have a job here, to be able to set some sort of foundation and grow from that, and see what it brings me, what opportunities it brings me, the lifestyle change, just experience as a whole. So since I've come over here, luckily enough, I've been blessed because my cousin lived here, or he has lived here for the last 7 years. So when I came here initially, it was easy because I had a base. I had somewhere to work out of. I had somewhere to live out of. I had somewhere that I was like, okay, for whatever time it takes for me to get onto my feet, I'm safe. And I think that sort of safety cushion was a real beneficial factor to me moving here. Had I had come here, I would definitely like to organize myself prior to moving here. But for me, it was lucky that my cousin was here, so it gave me a little bit of time and freedom to be able to put my feet on the ground and set myself up. Saying that, I did come here with the mentality of, you know what, as soon as I get here, hit the ground running. So when I get here, start looking for a new place, walk around, get familiar with how to move around in the city, where things are, things to do, things that I will need, where my work is, find a place that's close to work. How am I going to get to transport? What about in the summer when it gets really hot? So all of these things I've sort of been figuring it out as I go. But lucky enough for me, initially from coming here from the beginning, I was able to set my home at my cousin's house. But as soon as I got here, I started to hustle. I came here, I started looking for apartments, started messaging around, starting to figure out how the IDs things work and how every country brings different opportunities, but they also bring different lifestyles. And the systems of the way things work here, for example, compared to the way things work in Australia are completely different. And then I compare that to the way things work in Denmark. And I'm like, these are three completely different systems. And familiarizing yourself with those things and making sure that you're, doing the right thing in order to get the right results. So for me, essentially, the first thing that I wanted to do was to move close to work or move out of my cousin's apartment and move close to work. So as soon as I got here, I really tried to message all the real estate agents, figure out how to get into apartments. And then, the system here is a little bit different and I didn't have my IDs yet. So a lot of the places required a bank account and IDs and security. So I really had to hustle. And, this street goes pretty far. And I went to every single building and spoke to the reception and tried to look for apartments and tried to negotiate my way through without having the IDs and without having the things and making the promise of like, it's coming, but I just don't have it yet. So I need a place to live. I can offer you this, and it was tough, I gotta say. And there was some really hot days that I was just walking down and in my head, I'm just like, okay, Carla, just be patient. You're going to do this. It's just going to come, be patient. God's got your back. And, alhamdulillah, thank God that I've been blessed with what I have. So I live here now. As you can see, beautiful view. The pool's just over there. The gym's just over there. My work is just around the corner. Literally can see the building from here. The mosque is literally just over there next to a lot closer to those towers. So all the essential things that I was looking for, all the boxes that I was trying to tick, I ticked. And again, you got to make trade-offs. So there were some things that I would have preferred, like I wanted my apartment to face that way, but at the same time, I was like, okay, look, man, you got a beautiful apartment. Don't take the whole arm. Just take the hand, don't take the whole arm. And just constantly remind yourself that, you're not always going to get everything that you want, but make the most of what you have and then realize and be grateful for everything that you do manage to get. Because there's often times that I just sit down and I think to myself, wow, man, like, look at where you've come. Like, often we just don't reflect and we don't say to ourselves, like, wow, look at all the things that I've been blessed with. Look at the things that I stress so much about. And then thank God they just had a way of sorting themselves out. Or obviously it took a bit of effort from my half, but at the same time, it was just that constant faith and that constant belief and that constant persistence that I was just like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. And thank God, I'm here. I'm here and I'm blessed and I'm so grateful. And the amount of wonderful people that I've met since I've been here has been amazing. And I put it down to many things. I put it down to yourself. I feel like if you're a, pardon me, if you're a genuine, caring, loving person, you'll attract that, those type of people will just gravitate towards you. And I can't repeat myself enough when I say that there are so many beautiful people around the whole world. And whenever you feel like you're in a situation and you're like, oh my God, everything's going against me, I'm having problems and this and that, and just negativity, constantly remind yourself that if you go into something wholeheartedly, and if you're genuine with it, and you're genuinely a good person, and wear your heart on your sleeve, God, the higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, the universe, there'll always be something working for you. You know, whether you want to call that karma, whether you want to call it faith, whatever it is, if you're a good person, good things will happen to you. And even within the bad things, there's always some sort of wisdom behind it. There's always some sort of blessing that we may not understand at the time, but it's definitely there. And you might figure, you might look back weeks later, months later, years later, and realize, wow, that little derailment or that little missed opportunity that I thought, everything came crashing down after that, or whatever it was, it didn't seem so bad looking in hindsight, because you're just like, okay, well, yeah, it worked out. It worked out for my favor. And constantly having that belief and being persistent and doing your best in everything you do, doing it with your whole heart, being true to yourself, being true to others. I feel like no matter what it is in life, it will benefit you in this life and in the next life. Anyway, I feel like I'm blubbering on a little bit, but yeah, this was just a little update. A big shout out to everyone back home in Sydney, back in Copenhagen. I love you guys. I think about you guys all the time. I'm sort of in the center of the earth, so like, I have access to either direction now. So hopefully it's not too long until I see everyone else, or if everyone else decides to come and see me. But this was just a little update. I just wanted to give everyone a little hello from Doha, let you know that I'm doing well, I'm enjoying myself. And so with that, I want to leave you guys with a little bit of a piece that I thought of the other day while I was reflecting, and it was that, in essence, life is a beautiful dance between the things that we can control and the things in which we can't. Understanding that the wisdom in it isn't always made to be understood, but to be accepted. So on that note, until next time, guys, peace and love you all.